Morning. I am making my coffee for the day. How are you? Making breakfast. So like each time I organize our pot cabinet, it just continues to get worse. No, you just go watch your show. Yes. Are you not listening?
Want to.
No. Oh my God, guys. Royce is going to be 4 in 2 days. 2 days, guys. 2 days. 4 years ago at this time, I was in the hospital just chilling. Maybe that's what I'll talk about. My birth experience. I don't think I've ever really I've talked about it to other people, but yeah, so I found out I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant in the spring of 2018. It was so funny because we were on vacation. On vacation is not when I found out, but it was just funny because I was on vacation and we went to New York, and I have never ever experienced or had morning sickness. Never had it. I mean, not morning sickness, car sickness, motion sickness. That's what I meant. I had plenty of morning sickness. But motion sickness. So, we were in New York already, and we were going to visit my sister-in-law, and we were traveling through like the hills, I guess, because she lives like kind of on the outskirts of Patterson, New York. I think, yeah. Anyways, so we were traveling through like the woods and the hills and stuff like that, and I was like, man, I'm getting nauseous. And I was like, and my husband was like, yeah, you don't get motion sickness. I was like, no, my stepsons do. They were getting motion sickness, so we had the back windows open and everything. But I was like, this is weird. I was like, you know, it'd be funny if I was pregnant. And we both just started laughing. So we get to her house and we're chilling, and I'm supposed to start my period that week. And they had a dog, and their dog, my sister-in-law's dog, he kept like sniffing me and like would stay around me like all the time. And they would be like, oh my goodness, he really likes you. I'm like, I mean, I love dogs. So they were like, yeah, that's probably it. He just knows that you love him. And I was giving him like all the love. So she was like, yeah, he loves you. But like, there would be times where he would just be going up in my personal business. And I would be like, back up. Ew. And I was like, oh, it's probably because I'm about to start my period, maybe, you know. And they were like, I don't know. He's never done that before. I was like, okay. I was like, hope I don't stink. But anyways, so, during that whole time that we were there, I was expecting to have my period, you know. So I made sure I had all the stuff that I needed, you know, pain meds, sanitary napkins, all of that. And every once in a while I would get like a pain and I'd be like, oh, okay, here we go. And I would go to the bathroom. Nothing. And that was like something that kept reoccurring throughout the whole trip. And so when I finally got back home, well, during that time I was like, you know, I'm in a new area. New York kind of stresses me out. I have social anxiety. And at that time I wasn't diagnosed with anxiety or depression. And I wasn't taking medication. And so I was like, it's probably just stress. My stress probably like pushed it off. So we have a fun time. We get back home and I still haven't started my period. And I was like, this is crazy. So, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to pee really badly. And I had to pee really bad. And I was like, well, this would probably be the perfect time to take a pregnancy test. It's probably going to come back negative anyways, because during that time I did want to get pregnant, but each time we tried and I would test, I wouldn't be pregnant. So after a while, it was just like, you know, but then that one was about to expire and I was like, well, I don't want to throw away a perfectly good. Let's just do it. It's going to come back negative anyways. So, you know, I went to the bathroom, did my business, tested, you know, and I was washing my hands and I was about to throw it away and I was like, it said pregnant. I said, so yeah, so that's how that happened. So then fast forward, you know, a couple months, then they get the due date. It was January 1st, somewhere in the January 1st week. And then fast forward some more months, found out it was a boy. Fast forward some more months to about like 9 months. 9 months time, me and the baby was just chilling. Royce was chilling. I was chilling. Nothing was going on. Nothing was happening. I would get Braxton Hicks every once in a blue moon. I wasn't even getting them a lot. Round ligament pain. What is it called? Lightning crotch. What else? He was getting very tight in there, you know. My belly had dropped a little bit, but not even, you know, nothing. But literally, he was chilling, I was chilling. So I went to the doctor's appointment where they put that strap around you and check the baby's heartbeat and movement. And you press the little button each time you feel him move. Stress levels, all that. They checked if I was effaced and all that kind of stuff, and I was like 1%, and then the next time I went I was like 0%. So like literally my body was just like, nope, not yet. And usually that's how it is. Now that I know that now, you know, with your first pregnancy, it's the first time your body has ever experienced birth, so it's going to take a while. Your body's like, wait a minute, we've never done this before, you know. So after my third appointment of those stress tests or whatever they're called, my doctor came in and she was like, so you're basically, she was like, I mean, you could just do whatever you wanted to do. Like, we could just, you know. She's like, how are you feeling? I was like, I feel good. Baby's good. She was like, he's big enough. You're far along enough. Like, we could just induce. And me being an excited mom and just wanting my baby, I was like, oh, we could just do that. And she was like, yeah, if we do induction, we we start you off and then we wean you off and then your body just does the rest and then you just have the baby. That is not how it went. But me being an excited mom was like, oh, okay. Sure. Why not? So, December 25th, 2019, 6 a.m. in the morning. Me, my husband, and one of my very close friends who was spending the night, and I wanted her to be there with me. Because I think at the time she didn't have a car, so she was going to come with me, stay with me, and then my other friends were going to come later on. So we go to the hospital. You know, we go through all the paperwork, yada yada. They get us a room, check the vitals, check the baby's vitals. Everything is good. They start Pitocin. I think I'm saying that right. And they're like, yeah, it's just basically a waiting game. You know, we increase it and see how you're doing, see if you start getting contractions, you know, and then we'll just go based off of your body. So the day progresses and nothing happens. I'm chilling. My friends are with me. My family comes up to visit. Everybody's excited, you know, not knowing that it's going to be a week. A week. Okay, I'm almost done, Papa. Go sit down. I'm almost done. Oh, Don, you got to listen. Okay, I'm almost done. I'm almost done, okay? Okay, now go sit down. So, day goes by, nothing happens. So the next day, you know, and they've increased the Pitocin throughout the day, decreased it or whatever they did. Nothing was happening. So the next day, jeez, okay. So the next day, they were like, well, we're going to put this capsule inside of you that will help soften you up. So they put that in me. On top of the Pitocin. They were doing so much stuff. On top of monitoring the baby and all that. And literally, I'm chilling. Nothing's happening. After like midway through the second day, I started getting, so the 26th, I started getting some contractions. And I was like, okay, here we go. Here we go. But like, they were like period cramps, like mild period cramps. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. This ain't nothing. Chilling. Contraction hit me every now and again. We listening to music. I'm doing the baby mama dance. Friends and families coming to visit. They all chilling in the room.
Mine's all done?
Not yet.
Okay. Mine's all done?
Not yet. It's still cold.
It's still cold.
Yeah, so please go sit down. Royce, you know I don't like that whining. So yeah. Yeah, when it's done, I'll let you know, okay? Okay. So at nighttime of the 26th, like they were like, okay, so tomorrow we're probably going to try something different, you know, because you're still not, I wasn't even in active labor. Like, so, she was like, this is like normal stuff that you will experience if you were just at home not doing anything. I feel like at that time, I should have been like, you know what, let's just Let's go home. I'm not ready. He's not ready. Let's not keep stressing each other, my body and him out. Yeah, I didn't do that. I was excited. I was naive, inexperienced. Delulu. So 27 rolls around. That's when like the irregular, really nasty contractions hit. Still not an active labor, but they were like very irregular, not consistent, hit whenever, very intense, just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And so at that point they were like, okay, well, how about we break your water? Let's break your water and maybe that will speed stuff along.
Mommy.
You know that
That
meme where it's like,
Mommy.
what?
The egg is done.
Not yet. They're still cooking. This is when she knew
Mommy.
she
Right
messed
there.
up.
Right there.
Huh?
Right there.
So that just caused a spiral of
Mommy.
things to go wrong. What is it, Papa?
Right there.
Huh?
Right there in the microwave.
No. Royce, can you please? I'm almost done. Do you want to eat? Okay, then. Go sit down and wait a minute. So after my water broke, they kept checking me, and I was getting really irritated down there because they kept checking me, and since I wasn't ready, it was just getting really bad, and they ended up having to put like a balloon inside of me, and then they ended up putting they put the balloon inside of me to try to force my cervix to soften up, and then they put a catheter in so I could pee. And after all that, like, it was the evening of the 27th where they came in and they were like, look, nothing's happening. Your water's already broken. If we continue to let you sit out with an open uterus exposed, there's a risk to infection to you, infection to the baby. Your heart rate is going up. His heart rate is going down. So we're gonna have to perform. Oh, and then they would check, and she's like, I feel him, but he's like cocked to the side, so he was stuck. So she was like, so we're gonna do a C-section. Once she said those words, I knew it was just, you know. So that caused a lot of issues. I had to get an epidural first. And then they took me in for the C-section. The epidural itself, it was crazy because the epidural, the anesthesiologist, cocky, was like, I've done this like so many times that each time I do it, I get it perfectly on spot and you're not going to feel nothing. The devil's a lie. He put it in. This whole side from my waist down or whatever part it starts at, I couldn't feel nothing. This side, like if you stabbed me, I wouldn't know that you were stabbing me because I wouldn't even feel the motion of it. On this side, I could feel something happening. I just couldn't feel pain. I just felt a lot of pressure, and I felt the sensation of touch. So I knew you were touching me, and I knew you had a knife on me. I knew you were slitting open, cutting open my stomach, cutting past stuff. I just didn't feel the pain. Yeah. And then you have the shakes. So I was shaking like crazy, and I was screaming because I was like, I could feel everything you're doing. Like I could feel them cutting through each layer of skin, muscle, nerve. It was very traumatic. It was a very traumatic experience. And I was just worried about the health of my baby. They got him out. He was fine. He cried, and then I passed out. And then I ended up staying in the hospital for so he was born the 28th at 3 a.m. and we didn't get home until January 1st, I believe, or January 3rd. Either January 1st or January 3rd. We got home because after that, his sugar levels weren't good and I wasn't producing as much as I should have. So they were giving me formula. They gave me like the thing to express milk instead of the pump, and that pump was amazing. I wish I could have took that home. That thing was amazing. That thing burned out milk I didn't even know I had. So anyways, but yeah, I still wasn't producing enough up to their, so they were having me give him Similac, which I don't like. Similac, I don't. And it was thick. And they were giving him so much. And I had watched videos. Yeah, it's done. I had watched videos of how big a baby's stomach is, and how little they are and how much they need to eat. Like, he was just born. He doesn't need to be full of stuff, and he kept spitting stuff up and throwing it up. And I was just like, I don't like this. And so a nurse came in and she was like, look, honey, this your baby. And I was like, uh-huh. She was like, that's all I'm gonna say. That's your baby. She wrapped him up, changed his diaper, swaddled him, gave him to me. She said, you take care of your baby. And she walked out. And so I took that and rolled with it. So I was like, no more Similac. No more pricking his feet, testing him. He's fine. I want to go home. So the next day, we prepared to go home. And we went home with our bundle of joy. So when I look back at my birth experience, it's not nice. I did have the support of my family and friends. I do appreciate that. I did have a few nurses that I can count on one hand that were amazing. Here, Royce. Oh, Don. Here. No, you come here. You kept coming up in here asking me if it was done. You come back up in here and get it. Well, then it's just going to be sitting right here. I had the support of my family and friends. I had a few good nurses. My dad was working at night, so he would stop in and pop in. So there were moments that, I can look back on with fond memory, but the birth of him was very traumatic. And after that, like, the side that I could feel what they were doing, like, hold on, I had like post-traumatic stress from it, like any kind of underwear, pants. If my husband would help change the gauze or whatever, like, I would start freaking out and panicking. And just in the last year, I've gotten over it. Like, now I can touch the scar. Underwear, pants can touch the scar. Like, it's okay. But there are some days that still, like, it brings back some unwanted feelings of stress. Hold on, Papa. So, and that being said, my birth experience was crazy. I feel like doctors... I think some doctors take advantage of naive, immature mothers that don't know better. and probably won't stand up for themselves. And I also feel like it's all about money, because giving birth, especially if you're doing it naturally, you're only taking up medical staff, nurses, monitoring machines, the bed, the room, any kind of food or drink that you have, any IVs that they might give you, like fluids. Any other kind of material that they may use to during the birth with all your fluids and all that kind of stuff, for the stuff to wrap up your baby, and then whatever aftercare that you use. That's nothing. Some $1,000. But then if you have medicated, okay, still, that's just medication. That's just medication. You get Pitocin and the pill and the balloon and all that stuff. Hold on, let me pray. So yeah, but then you bring in a C-section.
Thank you for joy. Thank you for thumbs up. Bye.
You bring in a C-section, and then you got anesthesiologists, I don't know, cardiologists, on-hand doctors, just in case something goes wrong. Yeah, close it. The ER room, scalpels, all that. More monitoring machines, more medicine. And I think they also, how much, okay, so they charge you and they get that money from your insurance. And then the placenta, see, I wanted him born with the placenta intact, because I knew the health benefits. Because they say that after the baby is born, the placenta is still pumping naturally nutrients into the baby. And so I was like, well, let it continue to pump. And so once it's done pumping, then you can cut it or whatever. And then if you want to use it, you can, if you can, you know. But I was like, that's his nutrients, you know. So, going into the C-section, I was like, can you guys still see if you can keep the placenta attached? And they were like, oh, well, we'll try.
Nice to meet you, Lady Spider.
I know they didn't try. They cut that thing as soon as they opened me up. And there's so much that they can do with the placenta because of all the stem cells. And I know so much research is in that. But it's like, that's mine. That grew in me. That's part of my body. That's my organ that I grew. You should ask permission to take an organ out of my body. But whatever. Anyway. I know that bill was sky high.
Mom, what's that sound?
It's a garbage truck.
Yeah.
Insurance had to pay that. But at the end of the day, I got a healthy baby. And he's going to be 4. And I love him. And I'm so glad he's here. So, that's what I got to take away at the end of the day. Like, for the first couple of years, like, I would get so mad.
Hey, my egg.
Just try it again. Okay. But now I'm just like, you live and you learn. The only thing now is The only thing now is the thought of having another baby traumatizes me because I don't want to go through the same experience. Not that I'm going to be induced.
Mommy. Give me.
Yeah, not that I'm going to be induced because I'm never doing that again. Willingly. Now, if there is a dire health condition, then we'll discuss what all the options are. And if they get upset, then I'm getting a new doctor. That's fine.
My garbage truck.
But they say that once you have a C-section, you usually have another C-section. But at the same time, they say that's not always true. I feel like it depends on the scar tissue and how your uterus on the inside looks and what kind of stress. They usually say, though, you should wait at least 2 years before you have another baby because your body's still healing that internal incision. And so it's been 4 years. I'm not thinking about having another baby. But, you know, things happen on accident. I don't plan on anything happening on accident. But I don't want to have another baby right now. I want to focus on my child. And I just don't want to start over again. So, but that's another story. But that was my birth story. I've kind of let bygones be bygones, you know. Nothing horrible happened. You know, so. But I definitely know better if there's ever a next time. And I make other people aware, especially young moms. I had a friend that was pregnant with her first baby. And she was saying something about she was being induced. And I just messaged her because everybody can make their own decision about what they want to do. Just like I made my own decision. Whether it was naive or not, you know, I made a decision. Because I was putting my trust in my doctors. But I just let her know. Like, I was like, I don't want to scare you, but if there's nothing wrong with you, there should be no reason why they're inducing you. The only reason that they could come up with inducing me was because I was overweight. And that would pose a risk. No. You haven't seen a risk thus far. And even one of the doctors, like I went to a high risk doctor for sonograms and he was like, I don't even know why you're here because everything's fine. Like you've been here with us for months and everything's fine. Like your blood work, his blood, everything's fine. He was like, I mean, the only thing is you're overweight, but you're still healthy. I was like, if nothing's wrong, why induce? So she decided not to induce, and then she ended up going into labor naturally and had a baby. You know. But yeah, so, and my friends now tell me, like, years later, they're like, yeah, I was feeling some type of way. I wish I would have spoke up. I feel like everybody was just nervous and just didn't know what to say at that time because they just didn't know anything. But, you know. But I feel like birth experiences now, either people are taking charge of their own birth experience or they're letting the medical profession take charge of the birth experience. And I'm not saying that going into the hospital having a birth is horrible. There's plenty of births that go flawlessly and everything's perfectly fine. But there are a number of cases where the doctors, you're just another person trying to get in and out. Like, and that was the thing, like, they came to me like the day after my C-section and they were like, yeah, so we're gonna get your discharge papers. I was like, I'm not ready to go home. I was like, no. I was like, I'm still open. I could barely move. I was like, and I just had a baby. I'm all doped up on drugs. And I was like, I can't take care of this baby. Not right now. I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, I don't want to go home. They were like, oh, you want to stay? I was like, yeah, I'm staying. You ain't sending me home. That was when I put my foot down. I was like, nah, you crazy. I was like, you thought. Nah. You ain't getting rid of me. I was like, bye. I was like, so you can take those little papers back out there and shred them. Or save them for a later date. So. Oh yeah, so. Do your research. I was doing a lot of research on about how to give birth, breathing, the growth of the baby, all that stuff. Do more research. Do more research. But now I know. Now I know for next time. And I know how to advocate for myself. And who to put in the position to advocate for me in case I can't. So, because there was a point when things took a turn for the worse, when they were telling me about the C-section, I had to get the epidural that, well, before they told me about the C-section, I was going to get the epidural, and I had clearly stated I didn't want an epidural, like, time ago, and I was, like, adamant about that. And so, like, my friends and my mom knew that, but my husband was just like, I don't want to see my baby in pain. So, and he is very opinionated, and my mother is very opinionated. Love you, mommy. And there was a point where I was sitting in the bathroom, just contemplating, and they were just, and I was just like, so, state your stuff clear to everybody. Make sure everybody's on the game plan. That means sit down with everybody at once, not individually. You all sit down and have a written out plan of what you want, and if something turns for the worse, what you want a certain person to do or what you want them all to do in case one of them or not any of them can speak for me. Then I have a paper or something. But anyways, that was my birth story. So yeah, I have a 4-year-old. That's trippy. That's trippy, yo. Like, 4 years. Papa, how old are you gonna be? Are you gonna be 4?
10.
You're gonna be 10. No, we're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about 10. We're not gonna talk about 10. He's getting so big.
Mommy.
Sometimes I look, I'm like,
Mommy.
I made that.
Mommy.
What is it?
I'll be Z.
You'll be Z.
Yeah.
You're the letter Z?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. He's such a character and he's so beautiful.
Mommy, I'll be 0.
You'll be 0?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now you're a number and you don't even exist?
Yeah.
What?
Mama, what are you on?
Hmm?
What's your name?
What's my name?
What's your name?
What's my name?
What's your name?
Sierra.
Sarah.
Mm-hmm. What's your name?
What's a dummy cat?
Yeah, so.
Mommy.
But I'm gonna let y'all go.
Mommy.
Thanks for listening to me
Mommy.
and hearing my birth story. Hopefully my story can help educate someone else
I do
or
it.
just make people aware. So yeah,
No.
I want to say bye.
Bye. Happy birthday. It's your first score and a thumbs up. Bye.